Hello and welcome back, guys. You are gaming with me, Brothgar, and today I've got some more Planet Coaster for you. Now today's kind of a update as far as like a build log goes of a project that I've been working on here. It all goes back to a comment of a guy who said you should really do a King Kong themed park with cities and skyscrapers and all that sort of things. So that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to build a ride that also incorporates a skyscraper. So initially, I started off just building a very large building. Now, this thing is ridiculous. It's over 4,186 objects. But what I've done here is I've kind of, basically made a giant box, and I more or less did it in a cookie cutter sort of fashion where I just had different shapes that just patterned all the way up. So that worked, and I don't know. It made for an interesting skyscraper that, in my personal opinion, doesn't really look that good. So I decided to investigate some more advanced building sort of characteristics to it, and also doing different things with different patterns. So where I did cut the roof up here, I was able to actually make this, again, one piece right there and then pattern, and taking something that was just a plain box right there, even though it does look kind of shiny, and started to add a little bit of angles to the top of this, but again, stuff I wasn't really too happy with. So then I started to think outside of the box, more or less, and make buildings that I would then pattern around in different patterns. So that's what I came up with right here. This is just one building, and as you can see, I could duplicate it and place it on the ground right over there, and then do the exact same thing again, and then use the Z button and then rotate it around. And what I would do here is I would place these two cylinders exactly on top of each other, which you can do with relative ease, actually, of actually being able to do that, and then pattern that around to make a nice sphere sort of shape that was also not, it wasn't just a sphere, but it had a little bit of style to it. I then took that idea and ran with it more or less to create this shape over here, which I think came out pretty good. So this was inspired by something I saw just on Google, searching and looking at different skyscrapers. I saw some sort of futuristic building that isn't real, and it had sort of vegetation built into the side of it. And I thought, you know what, that works pretty good. So I decided to go with that and run with it a little bit. And this is the top of the building that I have come up with thus far. Now the cool thing about this is that this, even though it's one blueprint, is actually multiple buildings all put together. It's actually quite a few buildings, but just patterned around in that same sort of theme right there. And you can kind of see how these work and tie together to make a different shape, and to also fill in and make a complete roof, even though this thing isn't square at all. I see a lot of people that are making more advanced blueprints by using the same sort of tactic here. So if I were to go and I just look in my blueprints at some of the stuff that I have right here, for example, this one right here, this is a pretty good one. I mean, look at how advanced this is. This came off of the Steam Workshop. I'm not exactly sure who made it, but you could just see that as we break this down, just look at all the different buildings and the different shapes that this guy is using to create a curved face on it. So this is really, really cool how somebody was able to come up with this thing right here. And that's kind of what I'm going with to run with this building right here. So let me take you to the next map. All right, so here we are on another map here. I've kind of added some water just for the effect of it. I was thinking this might make a decent thumbnail at the end of it once I actually complete this building. But as you can see, it's right here. But I took that same sort of concept and I started to run with it and investigate that same sort of patterning theme. And this is the building that I've done as more of a test. Now this building here, again, just runs with a very simple pattern right here as it just runs on up. But then I've gone back in and I've started to edit these buildings. And one of the cool things I found is that as I'm editing a building, I could just click on the very next building, and even though I have like my tools reduced down to exactly what I need, let's say I've been sorted down to these walls, and this is the wall I'm placing down, I can then just, without exiting this tool, move on over here to the next building and start building up. So even though I'm using these cylinder columns, more or less what they are, to go ahead and make sure that these buildings line up, I don't necessarily need to clean that. I can go ahead and click on these real easy and get rid of them and replace it with something different like that. I mean, that's just one of the cool techniques I've learned here, just as I've been investigating the more advanced building techniques. So I'm going to go ahead and try to build onto this building a little bit more. I want to add a midsection and then a bottom section, and they're probably going to be 3 different blueprints that you then put together as a finished building at the end here. So I'll give you a little bit of a time lapse of that, and I probably won't finish it here in the next 30 minutes, but I'll give it a try anyhow. Alright, well there you have it guys. I was actually able to make a lot more progress on this than I thought I would have, but I think I've just about finished it. You saw how I did it there. Took the top section, cut off the top of the roof, and then made a midsection, and then made the bottom section. All came together to make one nice big building that would be fit for just about any sort of skyscraper setup. I like it. I think it turned out pretty good. What I got to do is go ahead and add a few more details on the inside here. I just don't have the time to finish all of this up today, but it looks like I have all the different shops available to me down here. You know, and then add some lights and all that good stuff on the inside. But that's it, guys. I think it turned out pretty cool. How about that? That's pretty neat. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed this little episode here of Planet Coaster. I'll see you guys next time. If you have some recommendations, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below, and maybe I'll make them into a video come next time. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, guys. If I've earned your subscription, then thank you so much for that. Peace. Brothgar out. Okay, here we go. Come on! Yeah! Woo! Woo! I totally got him! Come on, baby, go, 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 go. Do it! Do it! Do it! Oh yeah! Get some of that! Get some of that! That was building a roller coaster on a floating island right there. Pretty cool idea. Fun stuff. I enjoyed it. 1 million. There we go. Now we're talking. That's the sound of money if I ever heard it. Woo! It's kind of got a weird ring to it. I'm liking it so far. Bye-bye!